Okay, finally got it removed from the pump. So you can see here's the Haldex unit here. It's a bit cracked. It might still be usable, so we may still grab it, see if we can hang on to it. Well, it is another great day in the neighborhood. We're back out here at the yard, and I got an alert that there is an Audi TT out here somewhere, and I wanted to see if I could pick some parts off for that. I don't really need anything, but you know, as these cars start to get increasingly rare, just want to pick some parts, hold on to them, because at some point you're not going to be able to get them, and things like a Haldex Gen 1, you can't even buy one new. So if there's one here, I might grab it and just store it away. So anyway, let me go look for it. Oh, and I think it's right here. Yeah, so first generation Audi TT. Let's see if it's a 6-speed. I think it is, or at least it's a manual. Yeah, it's not a DGS, so it might work. What year is this? This is a 2003. It's a 2003 Audi TT. Looks like someone's been in here and gotten a bunch of stuff. The headlights are gone, or excuse me, the taillights are gone. Nothing special about the exhaust. Oh, it looks someone's got in here and got the transmission. That's been pulled out. There's cup holders gone. That's usually a pretty good piece to keep. Took out the gauges. So let me see what else is on here that might be worth taking. I don't have time to pull the micro switches off of this, and wanted to see mainly if it's an all-wheel drive. It's a 225, that's for sure. And it does look, it's got a rear diff, so I'm going to see if that Haldex is worth pulling. But let's see what else is on here. 03 Audi TT. I wonder if that's that fancier type grill. Oh, but it's looks like someone tried to take it already. It's all busted. I think it's busted. Yeah, that looks pretty busted. Some people like it. There's a difference in the front grills. But anyway, might take the shift lever afterwards. But let me go check on that Haldex. All right, so let's crawl underneath here and see. Yeah, it looks like it's got a Haldex unit, and it's hard to see, but it's right there. Let me try and zoom in. It's that box right up the top. Let me see if I can get a better view from over here. So here's the Haldex pump right here, and the Haldex unit is right here. And so you can get to this, you can get to the bottom screw pretty easily, but there's a screw that's all the way up top, and I'll show you when I get it out where it is, but it's sort of right up top in there. Okay, so you can see right there, that's the Haldex unit. And you gotta unplug a couple of wires, but again, if I can get to see it, there's a screw down at this corner here. It's fairly easy to get to, but there's one way up over there that's really challenging to get to. So let me see if I can get some tools out and get that, but you want to start holding on to these, especially the Gen 1 Haldex units, because they're starting to get really hard to find. You can't get them brand new, so really the only thing you can do is pull them off of these older cars. So let's go ahead and try and do that. All right, well, that Haldex does not want to come out. I was able to get the bottom screw out, so if you look up here, I was able to get the lower screw out, which is right here, and I used a 2-inch long hex, but the upper screw over here just does not want to come out. So you probably need like an 1-inch long hex to get it, so I won't be able to get it out today, but that's kind of the general location. There's really just 2 screws holding it in, and it's not super difficult to get out, but so it's just 2 screws holding it in. it's kind of difficult to get out. You can't really see it. I don't have enough light here.
Many hours later.
Okay, then what you're going to want to do is disconnect this wire here, and it's behind this little protective cover, and you don't need to remove it. You just push it off. It's on this bracket right here. So you just push it up and over, and it comes out. And then just want to be careful when you're disconnecting it. There's a little latch there. I just got a screwdriver and kind of pressed it, and it was able to go. So then you kind of want to get it off. There's another bracket that the wire is on, which is right there. So now it's loose, and you got to try and feed it to the other side of the differential, and then you can pull it out, pull the Haldex out. You can see I got it out there. And it took like a 1/4 inch hex head on a little adapter, and that helped me get to that top bracket. So let me kind of feed it out now, and I can take the whole thing out and show you. It looks like it might be a little broken, but if it's still usable, we might take it. So let me try and fish everything out here. Okay, so this wire is clipped in somewhere, and it was getting really annoying to try to get out. So what I need to do is drop this heat shield and try and get up my hands up behind it to see where it's clipped in. So all I did was just drop the exhaust off. I mean, it just took a few bolts so you could try to get the rubber wasn't coming off. So I just dropped a few bolts and dropped it out of the way. There's a few nuts here, so let me just get the last ones, and then I can pop this heat shield off, and I should be able to reach behind there and disconnect the wire. All right, well, now that the heat shield is out of the way, you can see you get a lot more access, but I still can't see where that clip is. Might have to get a flashlight on here, but you can see the wire is disconnected, but there's a clip somewhere up in here. What's causing it to not remove? So I don't remember it being this difficult to remove, but again, this is where you want to disconnect the wire. So you kind of just push it off of this clip that comes out, and then there's just a couple of things to remove, and we should be able to take it out, but I can't get up there and see. Let me try and get a closer look. Okay, so I was able to remove that clip. I had to push up, kind of pry up, so there was no way to get to it with this heat shield in the way. And then now you can see the Haldex just, there's a certain way to get it out, but you kind of fish it, and it comes out towards the front of the car. I still got to get this wire removed, and it's being a real pain in the ass to remove that connection. But now you can see that clip right there that was on top of the differential. So you need to kind of pry that off, and then you got to fish this connector through. And so probably, oh, there it goes. And so now it's out. I just got to remove that connector. And so that's how you get the differential out. You're going to lose a little bit of oil, Haldex oil. So just be careful when you're underneath it. But yep, got the Haldex out. Okay, finally got it removed from the pump. And so you can see here's the Haldex unit here. And it's a bit cracked. It might still be usable. So we may still grab it and see if we can hang on to it. But you can see here where the two screws are. And so the bottom one you can access pretty easily. I used I think I said it was a 2-inch, but it's actually a 3-inch long 4mm bit. And that was able to get to this one. But this one was really challenging to get to. There's not a lot of space there. But what I found out worked really well was a 1/4 inch version of a hex bit. And then I put a little adapter on it so I could use a wrench to wrench it off. And so let me just show that to you real quick. All right, so it's this 4mm hex bit, and you can see it fits in there real nice. Now the problem is you can't get, because of the space, it's really difficult to get a ratchet on there. And so what you need is one of these little adapters, and that goes in here. And then so from underneath the car, I can get that in, and then it's not on very tight. I mean, it's a really, it's a 4mm screw. As you get a wrench on that, and then you get a wrench, and you can crack it loose, and then it was just on there hand tight. So that's the way to get these off with when you have really limited access, like it was underneath the car there. It's interesting that it's a 4mm, but it takes a 7/16 wrench. I'll see if I can find one that uses a metric wrench. That way you don't have to carry extra tools with you, but I had to come back and get this out with more tools. But once you get that, it actually comes out real easy. I mean, you can use this for this side as well. So that's the quick tip, is to get yourself a quarter inch version of a hex head and then put that little adapter on it, and that'll help you reach in that tight space and get this Haldex unit out. So anyway, I think that's it for this car. I may grab a couple other bits, but the main thing was to try and get that Haldex unit. All right, so the other thing I could use from here is the shift lever. So let me go ahead and take those out. Hopefully this should be pretty easy. I'm just going to take the battery box out just to get it out of my way and make it easier to pull that. So let me go ahead and do that. Okay, so now that the battery box is out of the way, we've got a lot better access to this stuff. So I just want to wrangle this stuff out of the way. And then you kind of want to get it in the service position. So there's that button right there. So you kind of push it down to, well, that service button is supposed to lock it in place, but this one doesn't seem to want to do that. So I wonder if this is busted. Maybe this transmission's busted. So anyway, it's going to make a job a little bit harder, but that's okay. We just want to break that nut off right there. Okay, well, the darn thing was fighting me today, but you can see I was able to finally get it off. And there's just a bunch of teeth here. It just takes a lot of prying. Kind of each side, you kind of pry up this side, then pry up this side, pry up that side, pry up this side. And eventually it will pop out. And you can see it's got a bit of a key in it. So you want to, when you put it back, you want to make sure that you get that notch onto the corresponding flat spot here. There's a little flat spot on this part, so now then you know when you've got it on that you've got it on correctly. And so the reason I want to get these is on the earlier TTs, this fitting for your cable ends is a ball socket type, and once those wear out, you cannot replace them with the Delrin bushings. You can only do it if you have this post style shift lever. And so these came standard on the later TTs. I have an 01, this is an 03, so it had that. So you basically want to pull those out and hang on to them in case other people have TTs that have the older style. You can just put this one on, it's fully compatible, and then you just need the, unfortunately the person took it, but you need the cable end bushings, or the lever end bushings, and you can pop those out. You just use the old ones, but you can put in some Delrin inserts. So I think that's about it. Yeah, so that was it. Just these three are functional. The rest of these are decorative, and then you just kind of yank it out, you pull it out, and then you've got to get it disconnected from this area, which I think is just these two Phillips head screws. So let me remove those. All right, and once you remove those two screws, that just slides out and the deck lid is free. So I think that's about it for this TT. I don't see anything else that I can pull from it. So let's get going and see what else we can find in the yard.
If you're enjoying these videos, please consider subscribing to the channel and to the newsletter using the links below. We'll share more tool buying tips, classic car and classic motorcycle project finds, some motorsport news, and maybe a wrenching tip or two.